Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tayler Yarish Show. This is episode 19, I believe. I'm starting to lose track of these. Welcome to the show. What's going on? It is Sunday. What is the day? I should have been prepared, huh? The 18th. This month is flying. And this is right around the time when people they want to start making summer plans. They just want to fill up your months. And it's starting to happen with me. I've been free pretty much for the past, that's a weird way of putting it. My schedule's been open for the past year. I don't know if I would put it quite like that. Nothing going on. I'm all free. You free? Hey, everyone's free. That's weird. We all have open schedules. But now people are getting back to work. People are starting to do shit, and so they want you to do shit. And it's an issue because I got to make plans, but it's like, am I ever supposed to find a job? And listen, I'm not working, but I get it why people don't want to go back to work. I mean, I'm not even on unemployment. I can't imagine, dude, if I was still on unemployment, it creeps up on you. You don't want, why would you want to go back to work? Why would you want to do that? I mean, maybe if you're someone who kind of just always didn't work a lot. I mean, I worked a lot. I was working so much, and I pretty much never, there was never a time when I just didn't have a job. I just didn't have anything to do. I was always working. I mean, I wanted to be fucking independent and not have to call my parents every 2 weeks for money. So I was like, I would just work my ass off. And so you get a little bit of taste. You get a little taste of freedom, and you're just like, oh, wow. People, the people that, you just sleep in. You just don't have a job. Now, obviously, this is not a long-term thing, but, it's like if you, I can't really, this is not my example, but for people who just work out every day of their life, I get, you can only take it. There's a reason why they say a cheat day or a cheat meal. You can only have a little bit because you just start going down that slope. Sugar tastes good. You know what I mean? And I think I forgot what it's like to get up at 5 a.m. to go to a job that I don't like for 8 hours of, 8 hours is so many hours. 8 hours, and that's minimum. Most people work more. I would work more a lot of the times. 8, 9 hours. 9 hours, that's your whole day of doing something that you don't want to do. And that was kind of just the way it was. And I don't want to go back to that. But you have to compromise, okay, how much am I willing to not have nice things and not be able to do everything that everybody wants you to do, but you also don't hate your life. I got a buddy who somewhat lives in a van, and yeah, I probably shower more than him, but gosh, he's not clocking in anywhere. Now, he does have some skills where he can work remotely and he can do tech bullshit, and I can't do any of that. So, again, he is still making money, but he just does whatever, he just does what he wants. And it sounds, boy, it sounds nice. And I think a lot of people who don't have a job are just looking for any excuse. They want another pandemic to come so they could just be like, well, how can I possibly go back to work? How could I possibly do that? Because look at the state of the world. I think a lot of people are banking on these aliens. Those UFOs that the government released, did you see those? That was fucking bananas, huh? I think we all knew in the back of our minds that aliens existed. It was ignorant to think that we were the only ones out here kicking it. But to see, legit UFOs, why? Also, how did they look exactly how we thought they'd look? You know what I mean? It was a triangle kind of and like spherical looking thing. Like they looked exactly how we thought they would look. What are the odds of that? Like, what are the odds that it's straight out of a sci-fi movie? That's the only red flag that I have where I'm like, I don't know. Maybe not. But there's a lot of friggin' stories, and I think a lot of people are probably banking on these UFOs to come down and invade so that they don't have to go back to Chili's. And I would do, how can I go back to work? How can I go back to work? There's an insane alien presence downtown. You want me to risk my life? No, thank you. Not for Chili's. Where's my stimulus? Where's my stimulus check? Dude, if aliens come, we're fucked. We're just fucked. I mean, we don't even know how they move. We don't even know if aliens attack. And I don't know how to broach this conversation, but like, because we're like the human race, right? And aliens, I guess, are a different. I don't even know if you call them a different race, a different species, I guess. But because we're the human race, if aliens kill us, does that make aliens racist? Like, is it the same word? You know what I'm trying to say? Not like black, white, Asian, all that. I'm just saying, like, what is that word? Are you speciesist? Maybe that's it. If they just, because I don't even know because alien just means like different, right? Or alien means like foreign or something like that. Like I wonder what they would call themselves and how many different ones there are. Maybe the ones that are interacting with us are just like the dumb ones. Maybe they're the dumb ones of the other aliens, and the other aliens are like, why would you go there? Don't go there. It's like the elephant graveyard in The Lion King. Like, just don't. They down there. They have fucking nukes, and they have the internet, and they're yelling at each other. Don't go there. Don't go to that place. You won't blend in. You won't. I promise you. You're not even stupid enough to blend in with the fucking people down there. Who knows? And why are they just like cruising by? Are they literally just checking us out? Just peeping, hey, what the fuck's going on down here? What do you guys got? Auto shops and restaurants? That's kind of cool. Maybe this is like the coolest part of the universe. Because the rest of the universe, like, yeah, I'm sure if you're up in a spaceship or whatever and you're looking out the window, it looks beautiful. But beyond that, what is there to do? I don't think we would appreciate space. I don't think we would appreciate it. If Elon Musk brings us to Mars and we start building huts and living whatever, if there's not anything to do, if you can't go on your phone, I don't think we'd be happy with it. I don't think we would want to go to a place. We're like, yeah, but you're in space. It's so beautiful. You get over that. You really do. Like the islands on Survivor, they're beautiful. You got the most beautiful view. You wake up on the beach, but you got nothing to do. You're sitting around all day. It's not fun to. I don't get people who just sit on the beach all day and they just sit. They don't they don't go in the water. They don't throw a football around. They just sit there and stare into. Those are the people that would last. Those are the people that would last in space. Are the people that can sit on a beach and just stare into the ocean and watch life drift away. If there's some version of that in space of like waves crashing on a beach, like maybe it's, I don't know, I'm not smart enough to come up with a good analogy or a good example here, but if there's some version of that, those are the people that you take to space first. Because be honest, do we need those people? No. They're probably, they're retired, they have a beach house, or they live near the beach, and that's what they do. That's their bar where they go out and they get out of the house and they just, escape their home life for a little bit or all day, and they just sit on the beach and burn, and that's their life. Like, imagine that those are the people who would want to go to space. You're closer to the sun. You can get more of a tan. Are you closer? I don't know where Mars is exactly, but I imagine it's closer. I once heard a statistic when I was younger, and I've just believed it my whole life, and that is that if the Earth was an inch or two closer to the sun, we wouldn't be able to have life and that everything would burn up. And if we were like an inch or two further away, it would be too cold and we'd freeze to death and there'd be no life. Now, I don't know if that's true. I've never looked it up. I've never looked into it, but I kind of like, I like thinking it. I like thinking that exists, that we just exist in this perfect medium where if we were just an inch or two left or right, there's no OnlyFans. If we were just an inch or two, this way or that way, we don't get grilled cheese sandwiches and we don't get to ride a bike and, we don't get to fight each other and all the good things that we have here. If we were just an inch or two away, I'm going to look that up. The time has come, I don't even know how I would Google this. If Earth was closer to sun, if Earth was 10 feet closer to the sun, that's a one. Is there any truth to the fact that if Earth was 10 feet, maybe it wasn't an inch, maybe it wasn't, I'm always trying to spice it up, add a little drama. Is there any truth to the fact that if Earth was 10 feet closer to the sun, we'd all burn up? Meme question mark? I don't know what that means. None. The Earth's orbit varies by 500,000 kilometers from its closest. I don't know if, kilometer. I almost said, is that kilometers or kilometers? I'm not smart enough to have this conversation, okay? Luckily, there's no one talking to me, so I can be as dumb. I'm only as dumb as I am aware of myself being. I don't even know if I said that right. None. The Earth's orbit it varies by 500,000 kilometers from its closest point to its furthest point. The Earth is actually at its closest point to the sun during winter in the northern hemisphere. Okay, so it's a crock of shit. And I wish I didn't look that up. We're also drifting away from the sun at about 1.5 centimeters a year. But how do they figure that kind of shit out? Like, are we really? How do they figure out over time, like 1.5 centimeters a year? I would love to see, hey, show your work. Show your work. That's what teachers used to say to us growing up. You got to show your work. I would love to see the work on that. Like, who was that interested to figure that out? And then how would you go about even doing that? When you wake up in the morning and you brush your teeth and you going into work, you're like, you know what I'm going to fucking do today? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know if we're still making those kinds of people, to be honest. I don't know if any kids nowadays are waking up and thinking that kind of shit. They're just like, hey, what's going viral on the talk? Am I right? Like, I hope that there are whatever it is that produces those brainiac, nerdy type kids who grow up and do cool shit like that and figure that kind of stuff out. I hope that they're somehow still making them somewhere. And whatever that weird concoction is, the kind of kids who, built space rockets in their backyard and shit, I hope they're making them. I don't know. I don't know if they are, though. It's tough. It's tough. Those kids that go to like Harvard and shit. Did anything ever happen with that Harvard scandal? Remember, like, when they weren't having Asians, they didn't let Asians into the school, or they were making it more difficult for Asians to get into the school, and now there's all these Asian attacks happening, and you never hear about it anymore. Maybe that's a conspiracy in itself. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe that's what happened. Is that Harvard? I think Harvard they put a hit out on Asian people to distract from the fact that they weren't letting, or they were making it more difficult for Asian students to get into their school. They put a hit out. They sent the rowing team to attack Asians in the street so that they wouldn't have to put a walk station in their dining hall. Maybe that's what happened. Could be wrong. Again, I don't research or anything, but maybe that's because it just disappeared. Like, there was a lawsuit and everything, And Harvard, they just got those connections. You're not going to take down Harvard. But that is legit just racism. They're just looking around like, hey, we got too many of you guys. So it's gotta be harder for you just because they are crushing it. I mean, who cares? If they're the best, if whatever the standard is to get into your place, if they're the best at it, then they're the ones who deserve to be there. It should be, you know what I mean? If you crunch the numbers and it's like, hey, the top, 500 applicants are all Asian, hey, guess what? Too bad. If you don't like that, then fuck you. They're the ones who get into the school. It's not because your test needs to be harder for them. It's that, people like me saw a B on their report card and got psyched and didn't hate themselves and were like, hey, I have to do better. Or maybe, my parents just didn't. A B was okay. A B is good. A is extraordinary. A is excellent. And a B is yeah, all right, cool. You got a B. You got some shit wrong, but you got most right. And I was okay with that growing up. I was okay with mostly correct. I'm not trying to be the especially with a thing like science or math, a thing that I knew I was not going to use. And teachers, I don't know why teachers hate it when you bring up that point. The whole I'm never going to use this point, and they're like, well, actually you will. Oh, who the fuck are you? Actually, you are going to use this when you get older. I use it every day of my life. Yeah, you teach this shit, okay? But we have calculators. We have tools that we don't need to do this longhand. I wouldn't even know how to begin a long division problem. I've also never really had to do much division. And if I have a calculator. I have a phone. I could figure all this shit out. I don't know how they're even teaching anymore. In it's got to be so much harder because we had phones. I had a phone growing up, but it was a shitty phone. You had to it was 9 steps to get to the calculator on your phone. It was hard to use it to cheat in class. You couldn't do it. But now it's it's so easy. So I don't know how kids just aren't. It's got the drive that you have to be good at something like that is. It's when you're going into school and you see kids balling out, making money off of TikTok and starting a YouTube channel because they're playing video games online, and then people watch that for some weird reason, and they're just raking in money. It's that's not taught as a legitimate option. And there's kids, it's probably all the kids who can't pay attention in fucking school who would probably be great at doing something like that, and that's just not, nobody cares, pretty much. In high school, nobody cares if you want to be a YouTuber or a friggin', I wanted to be an actor. We had a drama program. I wanted to be an actor, and nobody, it's oh, you like doing that, but you're not, you're not majoring in, you're not going to go to college for business, or you're not going to go to college for, I think drama is it's probably a worse major than communications, but maybe not. You know what I mean? I was with somebody yesterday who majored in communications. For some reason, we were talking about it, and it's what? Okay, what does that mean? Theater, it's not useful, but it is specific. I could tell you the exact skills that I've learned that could translate to the real world. Most of them being people skills and being able to present yourself in front of a group of people. And I think that's a big, especially, now my, mom's got to pop a Xanax if she gives a speech to her boss or something like that. Not everybody, I think it's a skill to be able to do that. To be able to just walk up in front of a group of people and just, hey, what's up? Here it is. And you don't freak out. But it's just not valued in the same way. Speaking of actors, did you see, I saw this article about Robert De Niro. He is going through it right now. he's going to be going through this huge divorce with his ex, and she is just draining him of all his finances, and that's literally why he has to just keep making these shitty movies. His next two payments are his next two movies already locked in are just going to offset the money that like he owes in was it back taxes or yeah. So he's owes like millions of dollars to the government, and then he also has to he's like just been in this years-long legal battle with his ex, and she's like claiming that what was the figure? Because when you hear this, I mean, this is like the thing against the whole like maintaining the lifestyle argument. When you hear blah, 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 Miss Hightower's lawyer argued that since filing for divorce in 2018, De Niro has unfairly continued to cut the amount of money he has been sending his estranged spouse, including involving her credit card expenses, going from, you ready for this? $375,000 a month. That's how much he was paying her. And she said, "How dare you decrease it to $100,000 a month?" That started happening in January. She got so, like, I don't need, how do you get to that level? $375,000 a month somebody is sending you. She's getting a stimulus for $375,000 a month. And now it's going to $100,000. Like, that's evil. To me, like, what did Robert, what did he do? I know he's made some bad movies, but you can't be that angry at him. I mean, and then his lawyer came back and was like, she spent $1.67 million in 2019, including buying a diamond worth $1.2 million. $1.2 million diamond. Like, what, why would you need somebody else to pop the question again or buy you a ring? You're just going to use your ex's money to buy you a ring. I mean, the guy's 77 years old. You think about it, like the dude's been doing it forever, and she's just draining him. I don't even know who this person is. I don't know if like she's also an actress. I don't know if she's definitely not an actress. Lovely chin on her. I'm jealous. Not even like making fun of it. Like I want the chin. De Niro probably wants her chin. Yeah, Google that lady. But that just evil. I heard a story, somebody was talking about it. Maybe I heard it on a podcast about like he was in a restaurant and he just like kind of flipped out at her like, maybe if you didn't keep spending my money, I wouldn't have to keep making these shitty movies. And like, yeah, I don't know, you just feel bad. Because he's not a guy, like, he doesn't seem like the type of dude who, balls out. And yeah, like he probably can afford to fly private and he can buy the things he wants and he probably has property and stuff, but he's not like, he's not buying $1.2 million things or whatever. And you know what? He's allowed to. He's the one who made Parent Trap. Okay? He was in Raging Bull and Goodfellas and all that shit. Like he's one of the greatest actors of our generation and the last generation. I mean, he's been doing it for fucking ever. I don't know. I mean, I think he deserves it a little bit. So, I guess it's, and then there's people that would come back and be like, well, if you're making that much money, it's not even that much. It's a principle, okay? You shouldn't have to give somebody $300 and however much $1,000 a month or $100,000. Like, do you know what most people live on a month? Like, and now you're not with them. You don't get to live like that anymore. And it's Not to say that you shouldn't, maybe, you shouldn't get anything, but like, come on. You know? I was thinking about this the other day. There's all these like, cops are taking a lot of heat right now. They're taking a lot of heat, and I was thinking about it, and like, who doesn't? You know what kind of cop nobody really has a problem with? You know what cops that nobody gives shit to, really? Mall cops. Mall cops have just kind of skirted under the radar throughout this whole thing. Mall cops, they don't shoot anybody. They don't really make any arrests. They don't really do anything. That's how, you know what I mean? Like, that's what you kind of have to do if you just want zero press as a cop. You should just, you got to be a mall cop. Mall cops, they don't even arrest you if you steal. And I can attest to that. I've stolen from malls many a times. And they just, they'll wave at you on the way out the door. They're very nice people. Just kind of like twirling their keys, and, they stop at the store, they say hi to the owner, and then they just keep it moving. And if anybody, if there's any cops that probably should be shooting more people, it's the people that go to malls all the time. You know what I mean? The people that go to that cinnamon pretzel store again, maybe they could take one to the leg. I'm just saying. But mall cops, people shoot up malls too. And mall cops don't even shoot the shooters. That's how little they're doing shit, And they just kind of skirt under the radar. I think they just, they should teach a seminar to some of the cops in these cities who clearly, some of the videos you see, you're like, dude, who taught you? Did you learn anything? I'm not even trained anything. And I can see, I'm like, yeah, I probably wouldn't have gone about it like that. Like, maybe mall cops should teach a seminar about like how to be more chill, how to just be a little bit cooler when you're walking down the street and just let shit slide. Like, hey man, you don't got to solve every crime that exists. You should just let some stuff happen. You're going to stress yourself out. Like, mall cops are just the least stressful kind of cops. And I feel like if more cops weren't just like, we got to stop every single freaking then maybe they just be a little bit more chilled out. And then when they do encounter something that's a little bit obvious, like there was a guy in New York who was in the Times Square subway station the other day, literally just walking around with an AK-47. Okay, stop that guy. Stop. All right, stop him, which they did. They did stop him. And he was just like, oh, I didn't know. He was like, oh, I don't know. I have a permit for it where I'm from, and I thought it worked here. Like, that is what a great line, Obviously, it's so not true. And I don't think that, I don't think it was true that he believed that even. But, like that kind of guy, yeah, stop him. But for the most part, you could just kind of chill out, just walk around. Just walk around, wave to somebody. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know how to solve the problem, but I was thinking about it the other day, and that's my resolution, is round up the mall cops and just kind of teach people how, teach the other ones how to just be a little bit more chill and not give a fuck. You know what I mean? Just care a little bit less. It's like when you go into the forest, they pair you up with like a little bit a veteran guy, and he kind of shows you the ropes, the ins and out of the streets and what's going on and stuff. Like, they should do some kind of attitude training the other way around. Now, maybe that wouldn't work, and maybe if you gave mall cops weapons, I guess it depends on what kind of mall you're going to, because like a quote unquote mall here in New York, they probably would have guns, and they are pretty swatted up. Like, I went to that Fulton, it was like this giant indoor like shopping center, and it's also connected to a subway downtown. It's a big, beautiful place, but like, it's the type of mall where it is not for poor people. Okay, they're selling straight up blood diamonds in this place. I don't think there's a single thing that is affordable in this center. I mean, there's like one coffee shop and a croissant's like $8 or something like that. It's ridiculous. I just went in there to use the bathroom because I was going downtown to see one of my friends, and like I was just gonna piss my pants. And there's all these stores, and you're like, how are you open? Who's shopping here? And I guess it's tourists, but all these things are now open. There's nobody in them. You go by every store, and there's just one dude in there, and he's on his phone. And like, I don't know if everyone else feels this way, but when I pass a place like that, I get anxiety. Like, I'm never gonna walk into the store if I'm the only one in the store. It's too much pressure. It's too much pressure, and I can't take it. Especially if you work on commission, get out of my face. Yeah, but it's wild. Like, who works at these places? And there were a lot of cops in there who did have guns, but that's, I think, just to keep, if you're homeless or something, you walk in there, you're gonna get escorted pretty quick. They're not having any of that in this place. Yeah, so I don't know. I think we solved a lot of issues on this episode. I think we solved a lot of problems. We solved, we solved aliens. We solved cops. We solved Asian hate. I think we did it. This was a good episode. If you guys want to, maybe shoot this to your local senator or, send this to your congressman and be like, hey, this guy has some good ideas or has some good theories as to why things are happening. I think we could get a lot done. There's some elections coming up. If you want to write my name in, I think I have some good ideas, okay? I know a lot of people like Andrew Yang in New York, but you know what? I don't know. I think I could give him a run for his money. I know, I'm hip. I go to comedy clubs on the weekend and I shop at bodegas like Andrew Yang. What is the difference? So I think I could be a man of the people here, And that's really, like, if I went up and my platform is just talking about UFOs and like, mall cops and Harvard putting hits out on Asian people, I think that, I don't know, I think there's a good considerable amount of people, at least the people that I hang around with, that would be like, you know what, this guy's making a lot of sense. He's making a lot of sense. And, yeah, so that would be my platform. And that is the podcast, everybody. Episode 19. Thanks for listening. Tell a friend, share it, whatever. And if not, it's cool. I thank you just for making it this far. Yeah, I'll see you next week. Thanks so much.